Hi guys, Tracy here with a Fab Find Friday video. This is a video series. It's an occasional series. It's not quite regular. I certainly don't do it every single week, but whenever I have a product that I'm excited to share with you guys, I like to share it on this Fab Find Friday series that I have. And today I'm actually going to be sharing two products with you. The first is the staple board by We Are Memory Keepers. And when this started coming out, when videos started coming out about this during the last CHA, the big CHA show in January, I started to get a whole lot of private messages and links on my Instagram and Facebook account of people saying, "Tracy, you totally need this." So here I am, I got it. You guys were right, I totally do need this. And as you can see, I haven't opened it yet. So typically, my Fab Find Friday is a series where I share something that I know that I love and I want to share with you guys. So there's been a lot of hype with this, so I'm going to share it today. And I will show you how it works. I'll open it and show you how it works, and we'll learn together because I haven't used it yet, obviously. And then I guess I'll have to kind of suspend judgment about how much I like it until I get a chance to play with it a little bit in actual layouts. So I'll use it today, but it won't be until I use it in layouts that I have a sense of whether it's going to be a great product for me or if it's going to be a dud for me. So I'm hoping it's going to be a great product. The other product that I have to share with you guys is something that I know that I love. So hang on for that one. I'm going to open this We Are Memory Keepers staple board and show you what it's all about. So you guys know that I already have two staplers for scrapbooking, and so yeah, it's a little bit excessive. I probably didn't need three, but I have my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and I have my Stampin' Up! Small stapler as well. These staples are smaller than these staples, so the Tim Holtz one is the tiniest attacher of them all. And the Stampin' Up! One is still pretty tiny, but they're slightly bigger than the Tim Holtz staples. The Tim Holtz one is really nice in your hand. It's very ergonomically designed, and it just feels nice and solid and smooth when you're stapling. And this one is a little bit more harsh, but it looks just as good. Like, it's just, because I have them both, I notice that this one is kind of like, it feels boxier and there's more edges on your hand, and this one just kind of like your hand just naturally wraps around it. That's not really, I don't think that's not really a great reason to buy one over the other. I think if you're looking for the tiniest staples ever, get the Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and if it doesn't matter, and if you're making a Stampin' Up! Order anyways, then this is also really good. The staples are a little bit bigger in this one though. But I'm here to talk about the staple board by We Are Memory Keepers. And so here it is. It looks like this when you take it out of the package. It seems to me that these staples are held on, yep they are, with magnets. And so I'm going to show you how it works, but when you get it, when you take it out of the package, it looks like this. It looks like there is a little container in here for you to keep the staples in. That's kind of handy. And then it also comes with these staples in 3 different sizes. And this does not look as small as the tiny attacher. Let me grab my staples to see. I have 2, yes, it's definitely not as small as the tiny attacher staples. You see that? And let's see how it compares to the Stampin' Up! Staples. It looks like it's the same size. Yes, it is the same size. I would say it's the same size as the Stampin' Up! Staples. So that is good to know. The small version of the staple board seems to be the same as the Stampin' Up! Staple. Now, we know that we can open these up. We can open these up and put it back like this and actually staple anywhere on the page. The problem with this is that it's a little bit inconvenient because you have to kind of take your stapler apart And you also need something underneath so that the staples don't go into your work surface or your table. They have to go into a foamy, soft surface that's okay to pierce. So I keep this piece of foam on my desk that I use for stapling all over the page and for other piercing purposes. So it's possible. You don't need to buy the staple board to be able to staple anywhere on the page, but I staple so often that I thought I could indulge in a tool especially for stapling anywhere on the page. So we see that these staples, the 3 staplers that come with the staple board, are labeled S, L, and M, and so I'm guessing that's medium, large, and small, and they are held onto the board with a little magnet, and it just kind of clicks into place like that, like that. Does this come off? It looks like it does. Yes, it does. So this is like a plate that goes on there as well. And then this. So what I'm guessing you do is you can put any of these staples, yeah, you can put any of these staplers in that spot. Or the big one. So this staple board becomes this. And you would have to turn this around depending on the size of the stapler that you're going to use. So if you're using the medium one, you'd have to turn it like this, and there's just a little button down here that you press, and then you can turn it like that. I'll look at the instructions and make sure that I'm not doing it an awkward way, and maybe there's a better way to do it, but it seems like that's how you do it. You just kind of press and turn. And then this comes off, and you would put your paper down, decide where you're going to staple, and then put your stapler in place, like that, and staple away. Okay, so these are the instructions on the back. It says, number 1, rotate the dial to small, medium, or large staple size setting by pushing from underneath. So the way that you do that is you push this little button underneath. It's like a springed metal button, and when you push it, then you can rotate it on the other side like this. So let's try small, because I'm the most interested in using small staples most of the time. Then we have number 2, place paper on the board, place magnetic guide on the paper. So let's take the magnetic guide off, and let's grab us some paper. So I have some of this blue, it's just a scrap paper right here. I'm going to put it right here, and if you want to know exactly where you're going to place your staple is going to go, you'll have to kind of use your imagination to kind of like follow that line, and where those 2 lines meet is where the staple will be. So you're sort of stapling, you're at least kind of starting off a little bit blindly. But then you will be able to see. So which one is small? This one is small. So you have to have the same stapler as you have the, so you have to choose the stapler that coordinates with the size of the staple base that you're using. So you put that on there, you put your paper in place, then you put your stapler in place, and you will be able to see exactly where your staple is going to go, because it's going to peek through this little hole right here. It's a little bit hard to see, but it's not impossible to see. So I'm going to load up this stapler with, they give you a little assortment of colors here of staples. So I'm going to load it with some gold or brown staples, like that. And then I'm going to put my stapler right in place like this. So let's see how this works. Go like that. We pick it up. We have a very nice staple, and the back side is nicely stapled as well. So compared to the Stampin' Up! Stapler, it looks pretty much exactly the same size. I will check the Stampin' Up! Staples and see if they'll go in this small stapler. But first, let's check out the other sizes. So we will press this button, turn it to medium, like that. Put the paper back in place. Is that right? There we go. Take the medium stapler, fill it up with staples. Let's try pink. Hang on, pink staples, get in there. And we will put the medium stapler in place. So the medium stapler is in place right now, and we're going to look through this little hole and see exactly where our stapler is going to go. Just like that. Oh, hang on. Let's try that one again. That one actually didn't staple all that great. Was that user error or was that mechanical error? It's not quite, you know what, I'm guessing that I just didn't press hard enough. So let's try again. So here we go again. That's better. Now that staple is nice and secure. Let's see how that compares to a regular stapler. I think my regular stapler is out of staples. No, it's not. So those look like exactly the same size staples as what comes from my standard stapler. Let's staple it right beside and see. Yep, looks the same size to me, so I can probably put my regular staples in this medium stapler, and I can probably put my Stampin' Up! Mini staples in this small stapler. The tiny attacher staples are not going to fit in any of these staplers. Now let's have a look at the large stapler. So again, I'm pressing on that little hinge part. I'm going to put it on the L setting. I'm going to get my, of course there's magnets in these, so all the staples are sticking to it. I'm going to position my paper, put the magnet in place, and now I'm going to go ahead and fill up this large stapler with these ginormous staples. These look really cool actually. And I'm going to put it in place and I'm going to staple. There we go. Ooh, those look really cool. And look at how it looks. That's pretty awesome, actually. I love those. I didn't think I'd like the big ones, but I do like them quite a lot. So the other really neat thing about this is that there is a little sliding drawer here that you can keep the staples in. So I can put all of my extra staples in here. It kind of has these little trays as if there's space for certain, yeah, I think it might be arranged such that the certain size staples fit in certain places. There you go. All your staples are inside of there. That's how they look. And then you can store the whole thing. Because it's magnetic, the whole thing becomes one piece that you can keep, you know, someplace in your scrap room or whatever. It does have these little rubber feet as well, which means that it's not going to move around on your surface. Okay, so the good news is that the medium stapler that comes with the staple board from We Are Memory Keepers. The medium stapler takes standard staples that go in any stapler that you find at the office supply store. So standard staples fit and work in the medium punch from this punch board. And the small stapler that come with this uses exactly the same size staples as the Stampin' Up! Mini stapler, and there may be other brands of staplers that use this same mini-sized staple as well. The large staples, I don't have any refills that fit the large stapler other than the ones that come with We Are Memory Keepers. That's not to say that that this isn't a standard size staple that's out there that you can get refills for. That very well may be the case, but look, Lila really likes this staple board. But I am not aware of any. So if you know of any larger staples that are kind of more broad that might serve as a good refill, let me know if they fit this board, if you have this board, or if you'd like me to try them out. If they're easily sourced, I'm happy to pick up a package and try them out in this stapler just to see if there's another way of getting staple refills for this besides going to We Are Memory Keepers brand. The reason I'm wondering about this, of course the easiest way to get refills is probably just to buy the We Are Memory Keepers refills. However, they were sold out when I purchased this stapler, so I wasn't able to get refills. So I'm just kind of thinking about how could I get refills? My cat is very affectionate right now. Hey, Lila. So it's good to know that if you do have other staplers that you can use the same staples in at least some of these staples that come with the staple board from We Are Memory Keepers. Probably, as I said, the easiest way to do it is to just buy the We Are Memory Keepers refills, which I will do as soon as they become available. So my initial impression of this is that it is a good stapler. So it seems to work out of the box fairly well, the way that I would expect it to. I like that it's flexible, that with one purchase you can have so many different types of staplers. For someone like me who already has lots of different types of staplers, it's probably not an essential, but if you don't have a stapler yet and you're thinking about getting one of these, then you might want to just get one of these because it comes with a couple of different options instead of just getting a stapler that does one size of staples. However, if you're in love with the tiny attacher staples, this one isn't going to give you the tiny, tiny, tiny staples that you get with this one. So that's something to keep in mind as well. The one thing that I've noticed that's a bit problematic with the storage bin is that because there are magnets on this, the staples want to go up and stick to these magnets, and so, like, for example, right now the drawer here is quite jammed, and it's not that I have a lot of staples in here, it's that the staples that I have are rising up and sticking to the roof of this drawer and keeping me from being able to open it. So I'm going to have to fiddle with that in order to get it opened. So I think in the future I'm probably not going to store my staples in here, even though it's kind of made to be convenient. It's not that convenient. I guess the other issue is these staplers are just much easier to grab for because they're self-contained. You just stick it on, you staple, and you're done, and you can put it down. Whereas this takes a little bit more fiddling. You have to figure out where you're going to put it, put this magnetic guide on, and then put your stapler. So definitely this is more labor intensive and less convenient than using one of these handheld staplers. But I think if you're looking to staple in the center of the page, for me personally, I think I would rather use a board that's designed to staple in the middle of the page than trying to kind of take this apart and use the foam and that sort of thing, because then I always have to flip it over and use a tool to flatten the staples on the other side, whereas this staple board takes care of that. So if you're looking to spend some money on a new stapler, this is a good one to buy if you're not looking for one that's super convenient. If you're going to sacrifice, if you're willing to sacrifice the convenience of a handheld stapler in order to have the versatility of different sizes of staplers and the option to be able to fairly easily staple in the middle of the page, then this is definitely worthwhile. This retails for about $20 US, although I got mine on sale for $16.99 at scrapbook.com. And I don't know how much the refills are. They're not too expensive, maybe like $4 or $5. I can't quite remember. But I think that's pretty reasonable for a variety of different sized staple refills. And of course you can get the medium refills at any local office supply store, and you can get the small ones in a package of their own if you're willing, if you're using this brand of stapler. This is the only one that I can guarantee it will fit because this is the one that I tried. It's the only stapler that's this size that I own. So that's the staple board by We Are Memory Keepers, and I will be using it in some of my layouts in the coming weeks, and as I use it I will probably get a better sense of how it works, just kind of how convenient it is or how much of a hassle it is to use. I'm also kind of wondering about storage and where I'm going to put it, because it is certainly bigger than these can just kind of sit in my tool caddy, whereas this, if I put it in my tool caddy, these magnets aren't gonna hold it, you know, against something. If I put it inside something and one of these and it kind of pushes on this is going to pop out. So I guess I have to kind of think about what I'm going to do for storage as well. So I'll keep you updated on the staple board by We Are Memory Keepers. Look at who I have! This is Chloe. Isn't she adorable? She is a 20 point Siamese. And she's awesome. I love her messy face. Isn't she adorable? So I'm about to do a Fab Find Friday video, and I thought that what better Fab Find do I have than my adorable little kitten? Look at her. There we go. Yes. Show them your pretty face. And she loves to have her ears snuggled. But she's just too curious to sit still for you guys. Isn't she? So this is Chloe. And she likes these Nouveau crystal drops, which I'll be showing you guys soon. Isn't she awesome? I love her. Oh, and she likes stickers, so she's welcome to be part of this family. Any kitty who likes stickers is a kitty who's welcome in this scrap room.